Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Habitual. Hope you're all having an amazing, wonderful, beautiful Wednesday. I karaoke'd a little too hard this weekend, and so my voice is kind of a little gone, but it's fine. We're gonna work with it because what can you do? I am really excited for today's episode. I was sitting and thinking, what could I talk about? What feels relevant? And then it came to me. I was thinking about things that have I say quote unquote, changed my life, but not even quotes because they have changed my life. I was trying to think of examples of things that I could talk about that have changed my life or just made a really big impact on me and how I move and live and breathe and think and all the things. And I thought, what better example of this than the four agreements? So if you don't know, let me pull up my little notes because there's a lot of quotes and stuff that I wanted to mention in this episode. But the Four Agreements, the title is The Four Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. And it was written by Miguel Ruiz. It was a best-selling book, I think, for 8 or 9 years. It was sitting on the New York Times bestsellers list. And it's written by this man who Miguel Ruiz, who he was a surgeon from Mexico, and he had spent his whole life being a surgeon, and then he experienced a near-death experience. I'm pretty positive he fell asleep at the wheel and crashed his car into a solid concrete wall and basically almost died. And after that experience, it basically just sent him on a whole new path. And his mother, who is a healer, he worked with her, and then I think it was one other shaman in the desert somewhere in Mexico. And he did a bunch of learning and research about ancient Toltec wisdom. And that is where he came up with the title of the book, Four Agreements. I wanted to kind of just give my 2 cents on how I interpret the Four Agreements and how I've incorporated them into my life. And also I'm going to try and give some background where it's needed, but also, I'm not going to lie, I think I read the book first. It might have been in high school, but I think it really sunk in the first time I read it. I think it was my junior year of college. That's when I was okay. I was understanding what was going on. And so I honestly haven't reread it. I've picked it up and read a few passages here and there just because it's one of those books that you can do that with. But I haven't read the whole thing in a while. That being said, these agreements I think about pretty much every day. If not every day, every other day or every week, because when situations come up, I'm always right. And I feel I also bring it up when I'm talking to my friends about certain things and I'm four agreements. Because I think that they are a beautiful, wonderful, amazing, sexy. No, I think that they're just the best guidelines and agreements that you can have with yourself. So I'm going to read them right now because I've been talking about them a lot. I just need to read what they are in case you don't know. So the four agreements, the first one is be impeccable with your word. The second is do not take anything personally. The third is do not make assumptions. And the fourth is always do your best. So I'm going to go through each of the four in this episode and kind of break down how I interpret them and how I have integrated them into the basis of just how I live my life and how I think about things, because in my experience, embodying and integrating these agreements have given me so much peace. They're a really great tool to almost check yourself or be okay, take a step back. Don't take things personally, or I need to not make assumptions, or, whatever the situation calls for. And I feel like it has just really impacted me in a very meaningful and positive way. And I want to share it with you guys and talk about it today. So that's what we're going to do. And also just the story behind it's really cool. I mean, I think, and I'm very fascinated by different like ancient cultures and beliefs that they had because let's be honest, they usually knew what they were doing for the most part. Okay. And then before I really get into each agreement, I do just also want to preface that Don Miguel Ruiz, prefaces in this book, that our realities in our lives are created based on quote unquote agreements that we make. Agreements that we make with others, agreements that our peers have made for us, that society has made for us, that maybe our religions have made for us. And we continue to act and move through life with these agreements held close to us, even if we do not consciously decide that we want to agree to them. And that's just like societal conditioning, right? It's just our upbringing, the way that we are raised, all of these things all play into how we view the world, what our reality looks like. I've talked about it before, and he agrees that it's very, very important to break out of the binds that these beliefs place on us in order to make new agreements that you actually consciously decide to engage in and to agree to and to then continue to move through life with. Otherwise, it's hard to live authentically. And actually, there's a quote that he uses. I think this can kind of sum it up. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is the risk of being alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else, which I completely agree with and was one of the most freeing, amazing revelations that I ever made. It was like, oh my God, wait. The way that life opens up when you decide to live for yourself is fucking unbelievable. And I will forever preach about it because it's hard to break it out of it at first, but then, oh my God, life just gets so good. Okay. So anyways, that is all the prefacing that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to jump into the agreements. Okay. Agreement number 1, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. I have integrated this into my life and taken this to resonate with me as understanding the power of words. When you are speaking, you are transmuting a thought, an idea, an energy, anything, and you are putting it into this physical reality. You are giving words to it and you are speaking it out loud. It now exists in this 3-dimensional reality as sound, as a reverberation, as something to communicate with other people. Like it's really, really, really powerful. So what you say is obviously it's very important, and it's important to think about what you say and how you say it. And these are like the 2 most common ways that I think about this one. Okay. One is self-talk. The words that you say are important. The words that you tell yourself are what makes up your reality. Being impeccable with your word. I refuse to say certain things out loud. I refuse to say them even in my head because I refuse for those things to be my reality. That can look like things being like if I mess up or if I make a mistake, and I used to be like, oh, I'm so stupid. I refuse to say that. I will be like, oh, that was silly. And yeah, that's like gentle parenting yourself, Haley. Yeah. But also I understand the power of words, and I never want to be speaking down on myself, on others. Like, that is something that I try my hardest to do and to remember every single day. And inversely, things that I don't want to say, yes, but there's also things that I do want to continuously tell myself. And understanding the importance of self-love and talking to myself in a really kind and wonderful and loving way, because it does change my life. It does change my self-confidence, how I think about myself, how I view myself. It is so important to talk to yourself with love and with like grace and gentleness, because you deserve it. And you're the one who's talking to yourself the most, right? Like, you're the one who is up in there talking all the time. Unless you don't have an internal monologue, which actually, I don't want to be controversial, but that shit is crazy to me. And I don't understand. I don't understand. It's fine. We're gonna skip that, because that's a can of worms. Then the other way that I think about this specific agreement is do what you say and mean what you do. If I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through. That is a moral that I live by. I want people to be able to rely on me. I want to be a loyal friend, a loyal person, a reliable person. I want to have incredible, impeccable follow through. I want to do the things that I say I'm going to do. And that's like, yes, for other people, but also for myself. If I tell myself I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to be impeccable with my word, because that is also how you prove shit to yourself and to your brain. Is just like, do you know how powerful it feels to tell myself, like, yeah, like, I think I deserve this. I think I deserve XYZ. Sorry, my cat is flinging his toys everywhere. I think I deserve XYZ. I really, really want it. I think that's what's best for me. And then to fucking pop out, and however much time it takes, but then to actually do that for myself and to actually give that to myself. And then I'm just continuously building up I'm continuously building like a cache of examples and proof that I get whatever I want. And that if I, like, if I say I'm going to do something to myself and I tell myself, hey, I really am interested in that, like, nothing is going to stop me from continuing to pursue it, because that's how I want my life to be. I want my life to be like, oh yeah, like, I want to do this thing. I'm going to do it. I think I'm good at this thing. I'm going to invest my time and energy into it. And if I tell myself I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. And also, like I previously mentioned, obviously for other people, I think that is also just as important. I have talked 1,000 million times about how I love being a good friend. I love being a good partner. I love being a villager. That's what it can be summed up to. And I think that to be a good villager, you have to be impeccable with your word. If you say you're going to go to something, you better be there. If you say you're going to help set up, you better be there. If, you say, even if like you say that you're, I don't know, happy for someone or excited for someone to do something, but then like you don't show up to celebrate them. I don't know. I just think that being impeccable with your word is, I think about it a lot. And I think about it sometimes when I'm like, "Ugh, dang, I wish I didn't have this thing that I committed to." But you know what? I can push through. I would rather have amazing follow through and know that people can rely on me than, you know, watch another episode of Love Island or whatever the fuck it is. That wraps up the first agreement. Second agreement is don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinion and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't take things personally. This is a hard one. This is one of the ones that I'm repeating to myself constantly, but also when I really sat with this and let it marinate in my brain, I was like, oh my God. It's so freeing. Don't take things personally. If someone is being a rude person or isn't having a good time or just is being in a miserable mood, guess what? That is not on you. And do you know how easy it is to be like, maybe I said something, maybe I did something, maybe, or I could have done something differently, or there's 1,000 things. You can spiral so easily. And I have done that. I have spent my life doing that. And then I was like, dude, yeah. And also if you have taken any psychology classes, this isn't just oh, haha, don't take it personally because it's a reflection of their real. It is a reflection of their reality. Everyone's reactions to everything are a perception of their reality. That's how it's that's just how it goes, you know? But I think this one's just really important because I think in life you deal with certain kinds of people and certain situations with people, and it's really, really easy to feel like maybe you are at fault for the way that someone is treating you or the way that someone is responding to something. And, you know, most of the times it's not. You just can't take it personally because it actually has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. This has saved me from so much because also it's once you really start to follow this or use this agreement as a guideline and agree to yeah, you can sit there and be like, I agree to these 4 things. This is how I want to live my life. These are the things that I'm agreeing to, right? And when you do that, especially with agreeing to just not take things personally, God, life is so much better. It's so much better. I'm not sitting here worried about, you know, all of these things, or I'm trying not to, but to just remind yourself, in those situations, just, hey, don't take it personally. It's not you. Obviously, there's things where maybe it is you, or maybe you did do something, but then this goes into I guess this would be a little subset, a little bullet point, indent bullet point off of this in my own brain. Okay. Don't take it personally. It doesn't have to do with you. It has everything to do with them, right? Unless it does have to do with you. And then in that case, that is on that person to be an adult. If that person is an adult, that is on them to communicate with you. They are an adult. They know how to communicate. They know how to express their emotions, maybe, hopefully. And if someone has a problem with you, that is not on you to sit there and worry and think and stress and be affected by that. That is on them to communicate with you. Period. Point blank. As an adult, that is your responsibility. You're upset? No one can fucking read your mind. No one can sit there and be like, oh my God, they must be mad at me because of, no. If you are upset about something and you want it to be solved, you have to be the one to communicate that. No one can read your mind. So I guess that just goes into that's my little offhand, at least in my brain and in how I think of all this stuff in terms of my own life. So don't take it personally. And like, seriously, whatever situation arises, just if you just tell yourself like, oh, just don't take it personally. And then you like try and drop it, just like accept it and drop it. You can just like move on. And then it's like mentally you feel so much better than any type of rumination or whatever the fuck, you know? And if you did do something, oh, and then this actually kind of goes into the next one, which is don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. I think this is actually my favorite one because when I was talking about being the other one being like freeing when you remember it, this one, you can't make assumptions because you don't know. Like you can't just assume something and then act as if that's like truth and like reality. Cause that's just, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to the other person. And 9 times out of 10, you're wrong. You're wrong. And then you're just acting off of an assumption that isn't even real. And it's like, what's the point? You know, like why put all of that energy and time into like being upset about something or being sad about something or angry or anxious about something that you don't even actually know is real or is true. Don't make assumptions. Ask questions. Have the courage to just ask questions instead of being like, oh my God, like this guy that I'm talking to like didn't respond to me and he was out all night. Like he probably was just like talking to other girls and blah, blah, blah. And like, now I'm pissed off and now I'm not going to talk to him and like, whatever. Like, how the hell do you know? There's literally, like, realistically, there's infinite other possibilities that could be going on besides that one. Realistically, there's like an infinite possibility, infinity, infinite possibilities for like every situation. So like no offense, but like who are you to think that you actually know and can assume what's going on? Or like someone says something to you and you're just going to assume like the tone of what they're saying, like a text. And then like, or like, oh, they said this to me, like they must be mad instead of, and then you respond thinking that they're mad. And then you're like, why are they mad? Or whatever it is. Instead of just like asking a question, like, hey, like, I noticed that text was really short. Like, did I do anything wrong? Are you mad at me? And then that person could be like, I am just so busy. I just honestly like didn't even, I was just wanted to respond to you. Sorry that like it came off that I was mad at. No, I'm not mad at you. And then boom, literally solved instead of like sitting there and ruminating, thinking and being like, like, there's just so much mental energy that we as humans expend specifically in other like social situations that we just don't need to. Do you know what I mean? Like, just don't make assumptions. And what does the other part of this say? Find the courage to ask questions, yes, and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can. What? No one can read your mind. This is what I was saying the other one. No one can read your mind. It is on you to communicate exactly how you feel. And if you want something from someone else, you have to tell them that. Otherwise, you're just going to get shit out of luck. You know? Have the courage to be honest and to be open and communicate what you want, what you're looking for, and try to avoid misunderstandings. And just don't make assumptions. Ugh, like, seriously, the amount of times that I've just caught myself being like doing this, just seeing a text, a message, an email, like whatever it is, and then being like, oh my God, and immediately trying to make assumptions as to like why that person was doing any of those things or why they said that or why they put a period after the text when they never do that, or like, you know what I mean? And then I just actually remember myself. I just remind myself, don't fucking make assumptions. And also, do you know this one also comes into my brain every time I tell myself, assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Every time I'm like, Haley, don't make assumptions. And then what is followed by that is assumptions make an ass out of you and me. Like, yeah, because you're usually assuming something that is way worse than what's actually going on. And usually it's like literally nothing. And so if you just ask and communicate, then bada bing, bada boom. Like you said, like that's like one of the ones that you can change your entire life with. Like if you think that you're someone who does that frequently, and I 100% was, especially when I was like really going through it with my anxiety. Oh my God, that changed my life. Like my anxiety like had me like mentally spiraling every fucking second of every day. Like I literally just lived. I was like trapped up here in this fucking brain. And it's crazy. Yeah, just making assumptions about all kinds of things and taking things personally. So the combo of those two is really like knocked that shit out of the park for me. And obviously, like, just these things are way easier said than done. Like, I know that. Like, you can print it out. You can make it like your phone background, just so that you remember them and like see them every day. And if you take the time, like, eventually they will become habits, and it will be habitual for you to just respond in accordance with these agreements. Also, I mean, you should read the book. I don't know if I said that. Wow. You should read the book. Everyone should be reading this book. It's like this big. If you are listening and you can see, it's like half an inch. Like it's teeny tiny. It's maybe like 200 pages or less. Really small, really quick read. 100% worth it. Life changing. And if you're like, I just could actually never do that. One, don't make assumptions. No, but seriously, see, and like that can be applied to like anything like that. Like even just like beliefs about like things that you can do and people that you could be. Like I don't assume that like anything is like off limits for me, except like maybe like being like a real life princess, because I saw a TikTok the other day of all the tiaras that the royalty was wearing at some recent royal event. I don't know. And wow, like my heart was like aching because I was like, I wish that I could be spending my life wearing beautiful, insanely like handcrafted, like ancient jewels in 2026. I'm wearing tiaras all the time. I accept that that's not going to be me. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't make assumptions about other things in my life. I don't know. I'm just talking now. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here, losing the plot. So we're just going to go back and dive right back into number 4, which is also another one of my favorites. And yeah, is also something that has also changed. also one that has changed my life. Number 4, always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Heavy on the regret. One of my least favorite feelings in the world is regret. And also, yeah, self-judgment. Like I in the depths of my struggles with mental health, those were like really prominent emotions that I was experiencing and circulating with like a lot. And this one really helps me because I always tell myself, no matter what it is, as long as I did my best, like that's all that I can do, right? That's what's in my power. How someone responds to that, how the situation goes after that, that is not up to me. I do not get to decide that. But as long as I do my best in every situation and I try my hardest, whatever that looks like on that day, Because that's the thing. It's like, I'm not trying to promote like always be the best version of yourself and at the expense of your health or your whatever it is, at the expense of anything. Your best will be different every single moment. Every single moment that is going to look different. And as long as you can do your best in each given thing, in each given moment, in each given situation, what each thing requires of you, that is the only thing that you can do is your best. And when you do that and you operate from a place of knowing yourself, being self-aware, and understanding your threshold mentally, physically, whatever it is, it gets addicting to do, honestly, because I'm realizing there's a theme in all of these that is like really just like kind of circulating acceptance, like, right? Like being impeccable with your word, accept that your words have power and try to live in accordance with the things that you say, right? Number 2, being don't take anything personally. You just have to accept the way that other people are and can be is always a reflection of them and really isn't on you. And that acceptance is like what's so freeing. Number 3, don't make assumptions. You have to accept that you don't fucking know everything. And there's no way for you to know, right? So once you accept these things, and number 4, being always do your best, just accept that is what you can do. That is the most that you can do in any given situation, is your best. And whatever happens from there is usually out of your control. But the one thing that is in your control is how you perform in that situation and in each moment. And doing your best, whatever that looks like, it really genuinely does help you avoid self-judgment, self-pity, and regret. Because you can look at situations and just be like, there was literally nothing more that I could do. And this also, this is a big thing that I want to point out is that, and that I have experienced with this one, is looking back at the past and having a regret about something and wishing that I did things differently, or knowing that I would do that, or thinking that I could do them differently now. But then I always have to remind myself, like, I did my best at that moment. There were other external situations and things going on that were out of my control, and I did my best with what I was given. And that helps me not ruminate. And yeah, just have acceptance that things happened the way that they did and that I always do my best with what the tools that I have available, the situations that are in my control. I'm always doing my best. And there was definitely many, many years of my life where I was not doing that because I thought that it was actually easier to not do my best, because then it's like if I didn't do my best, then I would always have a reason as to like why something didn't work out, right? Like something to fall back on, like, oh, well, I didn't even actually want it, or I didn't even actually try that hard. So it's fine that I didn't get it. Instead of just being like, I'm going to try my absolute best. And then if I didn't get it, then it's okay. It just wasn't meant for me because I still tried my best. I was like purposely underperforming in every single area of life because it was just easier to accept that if I wasn't trying hard, then when things didn't go my way, it was fine because I just wasn't even trying that hard anyways. Which, looking back, like, that's like really, it's a sad way to live, to be honest. Because then I don't think that's living fully. Well, I know that it's not living fully. It's living scared. It's, do you know what it is? it's that quote that I read in the very beginning, that death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else. And it all comes full circle. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's all connected, baby. Yeah, I just think that it's a really simple and beautiful guideline to follow, agreements to have. And I do try my hardest to live my life in accordance with them because I do think that they make my life better and they have greatly improved my quality of life. And because they're applicable to everyone and they resonate with everyone differently. And it's not like this like super strict, like these are general things. Be impeccable with your word. That's pretty general. That's not like, don't consume caffeine. You know what I mean? Those 4 agreements are really, really wonderful. And they have definitely increased my quality of life and have helped guide me a lot into being the person that I want to be and into living a life that I enjoy living, and have really helped me declutter a lot of unnecessary mental energy that I was expending, and really allowed me to focus on accepting the things that are outside of my power, like making assumptions or taking things personally, you know? So yeah, I would definitely recommend this book to anyone that hasn't read it. Honestly, I think that like everyone in the world should read this book like at least once, because I really do believe in the power that it holds and the transformative power that it holds. I think it's fucking awesome. I just think that your life can only get better if you read it, you know? Anyways, that is what I have for you this week. Don't forget to follow Habitual Pod at Habitual Pod on Instagram and TikTok. I try and post a lot on there. I have more time now to be able to be doing that, so that's really exciting. If you want to follow along. It's honestly just like both of them are kind of like, my Instagram is more like my personal, not my personal. It's like my Pinterest board. I'm just sharing all the things. And I want to start posting more videos like of myself on the Instagram. And then my TikTok is all videos just of me. Of me sharing things. Yeah. Singing songs. I don't know. My daily delight. I'm going to do one. My daily delight. No, wait. I got to spend the weekend celebrating my best friend, Kayla, and she just got her master's degree, and she's going to be a therapist, which is like so fucking awesome. And it's just such an amazing accomplishment. And I just got to celebrate like my favorite person all weekend. And she's like the easiest person in the world to celebrate. And it was just so much fun. And that is my daily delight, weekly delight, whatever you want to call it. And that is all that I have for you. And I will see you next week. Okay. I love you more than all the stars in the sky. Bye.